Friday. There he is, locked and loaded and ready to go. You feeling good on a
Yeah,
Friday?
yeah, Big O, feeling good on a Friday, man. How you doing?
Can't complain. It's Friday, and I don't have to do anything tomorrow. So I
Lucky
get it off.
you.
The Canes are off. I
Lucky
don't have
you.
to
I'll,
do Canes post game. Yeah.
man. All right, cool. I'll be at the U.S. Women's National Team match against China at Inter Miami tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I just checked them out today. They had some media availability, so just getting back in from that. I know Mike's talking right now, probably, or going to start real soon, so we'll get our injury updates as we're going along. But what's going on, man?
I think that you should hold out Tehran Armstead. It's kind of like you just got to protect Tehran from Tehran. And I know Kendall Lamb is banged up, but as long as Kendall Lamb can play, I would rather hold out Tehran a couple more weeks and try to get him as fresh as possible. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's obviously a logical move for them. The Dolphins have always been very reserved right now this season. They've been very, very careful and very, forward thinking with their injuries. I've said this many times to you already. You don't need to run this week. You need to run next month. You know what I mean?
Right.
You need him for the playoff run. So if he needs another week, give it to him. If he needs two, give it to him. I thought it was very cool that Tehran kind of acknowledged a tweet from Omar saying that he kind of played very sloppily during the Jets game. And Tehran quote tweeted it, said, he's right, I did. And, Tehran hinted he might play this week, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, no, it's one of those. It kind of reminds me of what happened to Bam last night, and he continues to have the hip issue.
Uh-huh.
It's almost like sometimes you have to protect these guys from themselves because
Definitely.
they feel responsibility to their teammates. They feel like they're letting them down. They feel like they're not doing their job. And I know some people out there think that a lot of these players don't give a shit about what they do, just cashing a check, and that's a load of shit. Most of these guys take pride in what they do. They want to be out there. They want to help their teammates. But guys like Tehran and Bam, it's almost like you gotta stop them from themselves because they really aren't doing what's best for themselves. And I will commend the Dolphins. Like lately, they have been doing the right thing and going, more the precautionary there. I think they're going to have to start doing that with Bam since he got banged up last night. Tehran, I love his honesty and his swag and all that, but it's about saving him for those big games, for those big moments, man. I don't really
Yeah.
need him for Washington. They just
No.
their pass rushers, bro.
Definitely. Look, Tehran brings a calming sense to that offensive line. He's arguably the most experienced. I mean, there's no argument, excuse me. He is the most experienced person on that line. And when he's in there, it just kind of hums at a different tune. You wanted him. He came back in the Chiefs game, and maybe he was a little rusty in that game. There was, maybe a block or two that he missed that I saw from that one. But you want him at 100%. You want him gearing up for that last three stretch, honestly. When you have Cowboys, Ravens, Bills, you want him gearing up for that stretch there where those are the most important games of your season. That's the opportunity to possibly lock up the one seed or, at least home field advantage, right? And definitely put Buffalo away as well too. So, you definitely want him as fully strength as possible. And I would say the same thing about Bam because look, nobody's played more minutes or ran more on the court than Bam has the last two, three, maybe 4 seasons, maybe. Dating back to the bubble. Bam has been a object of durability and playing every night for as much as we've had him here with the Heat. So you got to keep your big pieces intact. And Bam is definitely one for the Heat, and Tehran is definitely one for the Dolphins.
People have asked me, and it's almost like a joke, dude. I don't need to break this game down or anything like this. The Dolphins are playing themselves, bro, just like you were against Carolina. Don't go making mistakes. Don't go turning over the ball. Don't feed a bad team any opportunities. You go out there and play your game.
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't be a game. That's the way I look at it. I'm sorry. It's not that I mean to diss Washington, but they're nowhere, not even close to where Miami is right now or where they should be going. So this is all about Miami playing themselves, really, not the Washington Commanders. That's the way I
Yeah,
look at
I look at it the same way, Big O. This is a week to go get some work done, just like last week was against the Jets. Just like next week will be against the Titans on Monday Night Football. This is an opportunity to get live reps to see what's working on offense, what's not going to work. This is the time where you want to see Mike go for it on short yardage when he hasn't been doing that in recent weeks, right? Now's the time where you want to clean up on the interceptions because they have been a little bit frequent lately. Same thing with the fumbles. Like I told you, in the 11 games Dolphins have played this year, 6 of them, Tua's had an interception and a fumble. All right, and a fumble. He's got, I believe, 10 interceptions and 10 fumbles, or maybe 20, or 20 total turnovers
too
this
many.
season already alone. Yeah, it is way too many. It's time to clean all that stuff up because they got a really tough slate at the back end of the season. And then when you get in the playoffs, these turnovers are not going to help you one bit.
Oh, you're not
It's
going
about
anywhere.
creating turnovers. Yeah.
You're not going anywhere, dude. You will lose in the playoffs if you play like this.
Yeah,
Guaranteed.
it's all about turnover margin. And if you're behind the 8 ball in that, then consider yourself done.
Yeah, yeah. And when you get to playoffs, you're playing against good teams. You just can't do that with good teams. You can get away with
Yeah.
the Carolina Panthers. You could get away playing sloppy against the Giants. You can get away with playing sloppy against Washington or New England. But or the Jets. By the way, you can make mistakes because they don't have an offense. When you get to the playoffs, you're going to pay a price, and that's the one thing. As much as I'm a Tua guy, I love Tua to death. I think he's going to be a stud for this team for years to come. But
Me too.
The one bugaboo lately, got to eliminate that shit, dude.
Yeah, definitely. And when you look at how the rest of the playoff mix is shaping up, like obviously the Ravens have the best record, Chiefs, Jaguars, Dolphins, right? That's the top 4. The next 3 teams getting in the mix is a real crapshoot. The Steelers are 7-4 right now. Good chance they could probably fall out the mix. The Texans are 6-5 at the 8th seed, could jump up. Cleveland 7-4, likely to come out. Indy, for some reason, with or without Jonathan Taylor, they've been balling with Minshew. And you look at the Broncos; they just won 5 in a row and 6-5. So, who knows if the Bills can get back into the mix? That would be something to see if Buffalo can turn it around and they sneak into the playoff mix. But whoever, it would be something to see. I'm down. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Definitely for sure. I'm down on the.
That thing is like that's like a boulder going down a hill, and it just keeps adding more and more problems. I don't see the Bills getting out of this funk, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I definitely don't either. They got a tough stretch right here, and the Joe Brady move on offense worked. They played well against the Eagles, but they've got too many tough opponents down. They're 2 behind the 8 ball right now for Buffalo.
And the Dolphins need to kind of be the team that puts the nail on the coffin.
Oh, they will. It's the last game of the season, so they will.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But they got to win that one. They got to set maybe this is the moment now, that final month. If you go out and take care of business against the Ravens and the Cowboys and the Bills, then that'll be the moment that we could kind of look at them and say, okay, looks like they crossed that threshold. They're ready now for the playoffs and to make some noise in the playoffs.
As much as we may think that, it won't mean anything, Big O.
Oh, I know, until they do it. I know.
No. Not even until they do it. It won't mean anything because they have to win in the playoffs now.
That's what I'm saying. Until they do it,
yeah. You can win those last 3 games, and if you lose your first game in the playoffs, seasons, we'll talk about that point in the season if it does come. Knock on wood.
3 games, I'm not going to feel good going into the playoffs.
Oh yeah, well, feel good or not feel good, you still have to win when you get in there. And even if the Dolphins were to limp in their way with the rest of the season, I mean, they have enough wins to probably get to get at least 1 win in the playoffs. You're just hoping them to get the second one.
Well, if Tua's healthy, you better get a win in the playoffs.
Yeah, definitely. You need Tua to stay healthy. He's going on a really good track right now, and I'll echo something I said to you in the last couple of times we spoke. The Jalen Phillips injury is definitely not a great one for them. He is a premium defensive end in the making, and everybody else on that lineup ate very well because he was in the lineup. So he will be a very, very big part missed, for the rest of the year.
Yeah. Now Fangio's got to do his job, and then Great opportunity for Agba because he knows he's not going to be here next year. So this
Yeah,
is a great way to showcase his skills, and then maybe he could get himself a contract. And then obviously AVG, he was the best defensive pass rusher for the first month of the season when Jalen was out. So now you're going to get that opportunity. Let's see what happens. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? Great
So
opportunity for these guys. And what do you think?
definitely.
I saw that Fangio talked about using JPP in the nickel package. How much gas do you think there's left there in that tank?
We're gonna have to see it. We're definitely gonna have to see it. I think JPP was kind of on his last legs in the Bucks run to the Super Bowl, but he was still able to splash and make some plays for them. And he was a part of a loaded defense too. They had Sue at that point. Obviously they had Vita Vea, who was all over the field, all over Patrick Mahomes, and that one. And the back end, I mean, that Tampa defense was really good. Um, and JPP has a big role to fill. He's not going to be Jalen Phillips, not at this point in his career. But he's there to help out Ogben. He's there to help out AVG, and provide some depth there. I thought it was interesting that they still want to put Van Ginkel in the middle linebacker role. All right, cool, sure. I think we all know, Van Ginkel's probably better as the edge rusher, outside linebacker, and that's where he's probably a little bit more explosive. So, at some point, they're gonna have to figure out that linebacker situation. If you're gonna keep him there, keep him on the second level because he makes more splash plays on the line. We're
By the way, McDaniel's saying that he's unsure whether Teron Armstead or Kendall Lamb will be available Sunday, but both will practice today.
I saw also that Javon Holland is they're going to be cautious with him because he hurt both his knees in the Jets game. I mean, that's a big part of your defense. It's the back end.
Just playing one, bro.
You're
Hold
gonna
them
you're gonna
out.
put Brandon Jones out there. You all right with
Yes,
him?
yes. For this
H
game,
A Chain
fine.
A Chain coming back too.
Is A Chain coming back? Are you sure? Or
That's what yeah, A Chain will play Sunday. McDaniel said.
okay, all right, all
So
right.
that's a good opportunity for him to come back. We'll see what happens with the run game now. Obviously, he's a big 5 game stretch coming up, or well, a couple games left here the rest of the season. But it's a big stretch for A Chain to kind of get his legs back under him.
What'd you
And we
think,
saw how he
Christian
was
Wilkins?
at credit. What was that?
What do you think of Christian Wilkins so far? He is working his way to a contract with pass rush, and I saw that Fangio is kind of saying that he thinks the scheme has kind of unleashed him a little bit. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I'll echo what I said earlier. I think Jalen Phillips coming back has definitely unleashed him a little bit. The sacks have shown up. 2 sacks against the Jets. Uh, how much credit do you give him for those? And compared to other teams, it's different. Didn't have a sack against the Raiders or the Chiefs, but leading the team or close to the team lead in sacks. He's making some splash plays. He's getting back there, but now without Phillips, now is the time for Wilkins to really show up and be that player that we saw in mini camp when he was the best player on the field. All right,
Although he's
Wilkins
playing another
Wilkins
bad,
has to down.
he is facing another bad offensive line, so he should
All
be
right, go
able to.
get some more. Yeah, he definitely should. Sam Howell's the most sacked quarterback in the NFL, so definitely should be able to pad the stats a little bit more too. But Wilkins has to make some splash plays. He has to continue to. You remember when in training camp when we saw him, he was in the backfield. He was talking shit. He was yelling at everybody who was in his path. He's a great player. He has a lot of energy. He's a motor. His motor is off the charts. And he's got to go. He's got to go secure that contract now. And there's a
Yeah,
lot of people looking for contract money season, Big O.
yeah.
It's going to be a lot of them.
But it sounds like, and I love if this is right, and I love the way you're sounding about this. It's kind of what we really need to see is Wilkins against Baltimore, Dallas, and Buffalo, and
And the
make
playoffs.
full sacks in those, not against another shitty Jets team that's coming up, a Washington team that can't block, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The Giants, the Carolina Panthers, these
Mm-hmm.
bad teams that you're feasting on. You need to see him feast on those bigger games, and then you'll say, okay, he's filling that void that Phillips left. Is what you're saying.
Yeah, definitely. He has 6.5 sacks this year. 2 have come against the Jets, and 2 have come against the Panthers.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So that's four sacks out of 6.5 against bad teams.
Right.
It's not a good negotiating tool for him.
No, it's not. No, it's not. But I agree with you. Those last games and the playoffs is really where he's going to make his money, because then they're going to say that's the guy we need, the guy that can come through in
all his sacks come against bad teams, man.
Right.
Patriots, Giants, and the Patriots twice. He's got 2 sacks on the Patriots this year, 2 sacks on the Panthers, 2 sacks on the Jets.
Right.
You're not going to not paying premium money for that.
Yeah, he doesn't have sacks against the quality opponents, and that's the reason why you're also losing against the quality opponents, because you need to get after these quality opponents. So
1,000%. Yep.
All right, what are you working on there at USA Today?
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to be keeping an eye on the Dolphins in Washington on Sunday. I'm really looking forward to this 49ers-Eagles game as well, Big O. And like I mentioned earlier, I will be at Inter Miami on Saturday, checking out the U.S. women's team as they make their little climb back up to, World Cup relevance and stuff after last, a couple months ago. It's been really cool kind of being around that team because they are in transition. And, I'm a big fan of the U.S. women's soccer team just because of all the players and all the success. And now this is the new wave kind of going on for them. So I have some stories about them today and tomorrow. And if you haven't, check out It's a Football podcast. Thank goodness my Cowboys prediction was right last night. But it was a little rough for them. That's for sure.
But you won, which in the end, it doesn't matter. You found a way to win. Seattle's not an easy team to play, dude. They're going to fight, bro. And I give Gino a little love, dude. He still plays better than I expect him to play at times.
Yeah, I think Gino hit his ceiling, but it's still a very nice ceiling compared to some other players in the league.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah, I give him a lot of credit. He fought through all the adversity and being pretty much, casted aside everywhere, and to hang in there and fight for your dream. That has to be admired for Gino, man.
Yeah, definitely. For him to have that fulfillment must be amazing for him.
Yeah, dude, it's awesome for him. All right, follow him on Twitter at Safid_Deen and catch his exceptional work there at the USA Today. And of course, catch him again Sunday afternoon, talking a little Dolphins and Commanders. Safid, have a great weekend. We will talk on Sunday afternoon.
See you soon, Big O.
Thank you, sir. There you go. Safid Deen, and we love, of course, Baptist Health. It's like my home away from home. And folks, let me tell you, if you have an injury that's keeping you from doing what you love, take charge of your health and get back into the game with the help of the all-pro staff at Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. We've got locations all throughout South Florida, from the Miami Cancer Institute. We've got the main hospital on 89th and Kendall, which I go to a lot. In Doral, we're at 9500 Northwest 58th Street. In Coral Gables, Doctors Hospital at 5000 University Drive. In Marathon Key, Fisherman's Community, 3301 Overseas Highway. In Homestead at 975 Baptist Way. In Boynton Beach, we've got 2 locations, Bethesda East and West. And in Boca, we've got Boca Regional, 800 Meadows Road in Boca. Go check it out. BaptistHealth.net/ortho, or use that QR code right there.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big